Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the Funimation dub of episode 114 of Dragonball Super. Picking up where we last left off, we begin this episode with Kale transforming into her Super Saiyan Berserk form. Goku remembers when Kale transformed into that form earlier in the Tournament of Power, and Caulifla is impressed by Kale's power. Jiren's hands twitch for a moment while he's in his meditative state, and both Vegeta and Toph can sense Kale's energy signature during their fight with each other. Toph says something along the lines about how Saiyans are a formidable species, and Vegeta claims to be the mightiest of the Saiyans. Toph responds by saying Vegeta hasn't been able to prove this declaration. Vegeta then lands a punch that launches Toph quite a distance. The Omni Kings are excited to see Kale's Super Saiyan Berserk form again, and Caulifla continues to be amazed by Kale's power. Caulifla approaches Kale to congratulate her for transforming into that form without losing control, but Kale doesn't seem to recognize Caulifla. Caulifla then figures that losing control is the trade-off for gaining such power. Caulifla then proceeds to thank and praise Kale for making that sacrifice. Caulifla says something along the lines about how they can defeat Goku while working together with this power that Kale has unlocked. Caulifla's words reach Kale, and Kale changes into a new form and regains control of herself. According to supplementary material, this form is Kale's version of Super Saiyan 2. Champa cheers Caulifla and Kale on, and Goku says something along the lines about how his Saiyan instincts are reacting to Kale's power. Goku also says he needs to be careful. Kale says that she will follow Caulifla's lead, but Caulifla says that they will fight together on equal terms, and Kale is happy to hear this. So the female Super Saiyan 2s proceed to use teamwork to battle Goku, and eventually Goku uses the solar flare to distract Caulifla, so Kale ends up fighting Goku without Caulifla for a little while. Meanwhile, we see Frieza launching various energy blasts throughout the part of the arena that he's in right now, and Frieza wonders who will be the next opponent to face off against him. The Universe 3 fighter wearing the suit with the letter P on it then approaches Frieza to challenge him. This fighter reveals his name to be Kato Pesra. Kato Pesra reveals that he is a police officer in Universe 3, and he says that his suit has an ability called Mode Change Ability. So Kato Pesra starts to activate the Mode Change ability, but he's interrupted when Goku and Kale pass by during their own fight. Eventually, the solar flare's effects wear off on Caulifla, so Caulifla then catches up to where Kale and Goku are now. Caulifla reminds Kale that they will defeat Goku together. Frieza then approaches the three Super Saiyan 2s, and he says something along the lines about how he finds it annoying that they interrupted his own fight. But Frieza also says that he's interested in fighting the female Saiyans. Caulifla recognizes Frieza to be the fighter who eliminated Cabba from the tournament a little while ago. Caulifla prepares an energy blast to avenge Cabba, and Frieza prepares a death ball in response. But Goku stops Frieza, and Goku says that he is still fighting Caulifla and Kale. Frieza grumbles that he wants Goku to hurry up and lose so that he, Frieza, can fight the female Saiyans. Goku responds by saying that Frieza shouldn't count on that happening. Goku then lets Caulifla and Kale know that they shouldn't be distracted by Frieza, and once again Goku warns Frieza not to try any tricks. Frieza then decides that seeing Saiyans fight each other will be amusing for him to watch. Kato Pesra then catches up to where Frieza is right now, and Kato Pesra uses his suit's mode change ability to activate speed mode. The suit now has a letter S on it instead of the letter P, and the blue parts of the suit have now changed to red. Kato Pesra says his speed is 300 times faster when he's in speed mode, and Kato Pesra challenges Frieza to keep up with him, but Frieza just decides to ignore Kato Pesra and decides to just watch Goku fight Caulifla Kale. Caulifla inquires Goku about if he's really okay with fighting by himself, and Goku says something along the lines about how he wants to fight both Caulifla and Kale with everything he has. Caulifla praises Goku's response, and Goku proceeds to fight Caulifla and Kale now. Or yes, the fight continues between Goku against Caulifla and Kale. Caulifla launches several energy blasts to create a dust cloud, but Goku can still sense Kale's energy signature approaching him, but Kale wasn't planning to attack Goku. Kale was planning to hold Goku in place so that Caulifla can proceed to attack Goku. Kaba and Champa cheer Caulifla and Kale on, while Shin, Old Kai, and Beerus comment about Goku being at a disadvantage. Eventually, Goku manages to break free from Kale's grip, and he performs the instant transmission, but Caulifla launches energy blasts to the area where Goku teleported to. Goku praises Caulifla and Kale's teamwork, and then he transforms to Super Saiyan God. Shin and Old Kai are surprised that Goku has transformed to Super Saiyan God since his stamina still hasn't been fully restored just yet. Then Krillin responds by saying something along the lines about how Goku has a tendency to exceed expectations even in the worst of times. Goku gains the upper hand against Caulifla and Kale, and eventually Goku is able to lead the fight towards the edge of the arena. He uses a tracking energy blast to follow Caulifla. So, yes, once Goku has led Caulifla and Kale towards the edge of the arena, Goku once again praises Caulifla and Kale for their teamwork, but he says that they need to know how to end a match. Goku then offers to have a rematch with them after the Tournament of Power if the opportunity were to present itself. Caulifla tells Kale to take out something that they acquired before the tournament started, and Goku prepares a Kamehameha. Goku launches the Kamehameha towards the part of the arena that Caulifla and Kale are on, and this part of the arena is now starting to fall off from the rest of the arena. But then suddenly, a blinding flash occurs from this piece of rubble, and a single fighter jumps back to the arena. This fighter has a hairstyle that mixes Caulifla's hairstyle and Kale's hairstyle. This fighter is also wearing a red tank top, red pants, Kale's armbands, Kale's boots, and Patara earrings. Goku immediately notices the Patara earrings. This fighter's voice is Caulifla's voice and Kale's voice talking in unison, and this fighter dubs herself Kefla. Champa cheers that the Patara earring fusion was successful, and Fua points out that he was the one who let Caulifla and Kale borrow that set of Patara earrings in the first place. Kaba recalls the time when he brought Caulifla and Kale to meet Universe 6's divine beings, and we do get to see a quick flashback which shows the Universe 6 divine beings giving the female Saiyans a set of Patara earrings. Champa comments about how the Patara earrings are to be a last resort during the Tournament of Power. Vado says something along the lines about how a Patara earring fusion fighter's power doesn't just add the power of the fusees. Yes, Vado says something along the lines about how a Patara earring fusion fighter's power doesn't just add the power of the fusees, but also multiplies the power dozens of times. And Champa says something along the lines about how you should save your best weapon towards the end. Or, yeah, Champa says something along the lines about saving your best weapon for last. Kefla begins to power up, and both Goku and Vegeta can sense that Kefla has tremendous power. Frieza says something along the lines about how the fight between Goku and Kefla should be very interesting. Kefla demonstrates her speed against Goku. The narrator says 21 minutes are left in the Tournament of Power, and that is how we end this episode. So this episode continues Goku's fight with Caulifla and Kale. And I think this episode did a good job at highlighting how Caulifla and Kale have great teamwork. Yes, I think this episode does a great job highlighting Caulifla and Kale's great teamwork, and it also highlights their bond being sworn sisters. Yes, Caulifla and Kale have called themselves sworn sisters throughout the course of the Universe Survival Saga, and I think this episode in particular highlights Caulifla and Kale's bond together as sworn sisters or sisters in arms. They've used both of those terms in different episodes before. And we also get to see that Kale has unlocked Super Saiyan 2, at least her version of Super Saiyan 2. And once again, Goku transforms into Super Saiyan God. And I mentioned it before, but I do feel, at least in Dragon Ball Super, or at least the anime version of Dragon Ball Super, I feel like Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan Blue are the Super Saiyan transform... Yeah, I think at least in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, I feel like Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan Blue are the Super Saiyan transformations that tend to get the most attention. So I did appreciate seeing Super Saiyan God make a return again. Super Saiyan God did return a little earlier during the Tournament of Power. And at least in the anime, Super Saiyan God was last seen before the Universe Survival Saga in the Beerus Saga. In the manga, or the manga if you prefer, Super Saiyan God had more appearances throughout the various sagas. And so seeing more of the Super Saiyan transformations besides Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan Blue, that was a nice touch in my book. And we do get to learn a little bit more about another fighter from another universe. In this case, we learn about the fighter who's wearing the suit with the letter P on it, and we find out that his name is Kato Pesra. And we do get to hear a little bit about Kato Pesra's backstory. We find out that he's a police officer in Universe 3, and I do appreciate that. It was a small detail, but I still appreciate that we got to learn a little bit about a fighter from another universe besides Universe 7, and also a fighter and besides Universe 6 or 11 for that matter, since Universe 6 and Universe 11 are the other universes besides Universe 7 that seem to get the most attention throughout the Tournament of Power. So learning a little bit about the backstory for a fighter who isn't from any of those three universes was appreciated by me, or I appreciated that this episode gave us a little backstory about a fighter who wasn't from either Universe 6, Universe 7, or Universe 11. And we do find out that Kato Pesra's suit has a special ability, the mode change ability. We get to see a little bit of that with him switching into speed mode, and it does look like a pretty cool ability. I'm pretty sure, I think later episodes might reveal some of the other modes that the suit has besides speed mode, but I'll have, I think we will get to see more of the mode change ability a little later in the saga, but we'll know for sure once we reach those future episodes in the Tournament of Power. But it was cool to learn about the mode change ability for Kato Pesra's suit. So yes, while we did get to see Kato Pesra, and we got to see a little bit of him and some of the humor involving that character, and Frieza also got to snark a little while dealing with Kato Pesra. Caulifla and Kale fighting Goku was the main focus of this episode, and the episode ends with a big surprise. A surprise that was actually hinted at before when Cabba mentioned that Caulifla and Kale were Universe 6's best chance at survival after Hit was eliminated from the Tournament of Power. We finally figure out what Cabba was referring to. This surprise was Caulifla and Kale performing a Patara earring fusion. And I really like that surprise because fusion is one of my favorite concepts from the Dragon Ball franchise. Both the Metamorans fusion dance and the Patara earring fusion. I really like those concepts. And I know some fans do consider the Namekian technique to be a variation of fusion, although some fans don't. That's actually a debate I've seen among some fans. Some fans would argue if you would count the Namekian merger to be a variation of fusion or not, because some fans agree with Piccolo's comments, at least in the Funimation dub of Dragon Ball Z's Buu Saga. Piccolo said that he considers Namekian merger to be more of an assimilation than an actual fusion. And some fans agree with Piccolo's comments there, while some say they consider Namekian merger to be a variation of fusion. Speaking for myself, when I'm talking about fusion in the Dragon Ball franchise, I'm generally talking about the Metamoran's fusion dance and the Potara earring fusion. So the dance and the earrings are what come to mind when I think fusion for the Dragon Ball franchise. But in any case, yes, since fusion's one of my favorite concepts from the franchise, I was really glad to see Caulifla Kale perform a Potara earring fusion. And Kefla is the first, yes, this kind of goes into the canon debate of the franchise. It depends on how you define canon and where you stand on the franchise's canon debate. But depending on which fans... depending on the views of some fans, one could say that Kefla is the first canon fusion character between two female fusees, because, yes, it was revealed in the Buu Saga that Old Kai actually did fuse with an old witch. Yes, Old Kai fused with an old witch, albeit unintentionally on his part. But yes, the old witch who fused with Old Kai was a female fusee. But in this case, Kefla is a fusion between two female fusees, Caulifla and Kale. And Kefla follows the same approach that Vegito has. Yes, Kefla's voice is like Vegito's voice in the sense that their voices are the fusees' voices talking in unison, like the fusion dance characters. So that's different from the Supreme Kai fusions, where only the Supreme Kai fusee's voice appears. Fusion Zamasu, though, was the exception to that. Fusion Zamasu spoke with two voices talking in unison, but it was two Zamasu voices talking in unison in Fusion Zamasu's case, not Goku Black and future Zamasu's voice talking in unison. Though some fans speculated that might have to do with Goku Black's true identity. I don't think they ever gave a explicit answer to that. But speaking of the fusion characters, yes, one of the things I like about fusion is the character designs for the fusion characters. I think they all have cool designs. Yes, I think Gotenks, Gogeta, Vegito, Kibito Kai, and Fusion Zamasu all have really cool designs. And I think Kefla has a cool design too, like those fusion characters. And I remember when Kefla first appeared, I remember some fans were wondering if Vegito or maybe Gogeta might appear during the Tournament of Power. And some fans were wondering that since Fusion Zamasu's arrival eventually led to Vegito's return. Now, those of you who've watched the sub version or you read up ahead of what's going to happen in future episodes of the Universe Survival Saga, you do know the answer to that. But for the sake of the dub-only viewers, I won't give away that answer just yet. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the next episode will clarify what will happen with regards to Vegito, or maybe even Gogeta indirectly. Yeah, I think the next episode will clarify that, since several of the other characters are going to react to Kefla's arrival in the next episode. So I think they'll answer that question in the next episode, but I won't give away what the status is for Vegito or maybe even Gogeta in this recap and thoughts video to be courteous to the dub-only viewers. But yeah, I do remember that speculation being prevalent, and some fans thought it would be cool to see another fight between fusions, since Vegito versus Fusion Zamasu was considered one of the coolest fights in Dragon Ball Super for many fans, and I'm inclined to agree. I do agree that Vegito and Fusion Zamasu was a really cool fight. And, oh, I should also bring up this detail. Kefla appears in her normal form, even though Caulifla and Kale were last shown to the viewers in their transformed state. Now, I thought I'd just clarify, we don't really get to see Caulifla and Kale when they're actually performing the fusion, but it's pretty safe to say, or yes, the fact that Caulifla appears in her normal form indicates that Caulifla Kale did power down to their normal forms before they performed the Potara earring fusion. And this does go along with how Old Kai did warn Goku that if a Potara earring fusion is performed when at least one of the fusees is in a transformed state, then the fusion character would be locked into that form. We saw that happen with Fusion Zamasu when Goku Black was in Super Saiyan Rose form when he performed the Potara earring fusion with Future Zamasu. Although the warning that Old Kai gave about Goku, how being locked into the transformed state, or yes, some fans had noted that, or yes, I should bring this up. Yes, Caulifla appears in her normal form in the anime. Yes, in the anime, Caulifla appears in her normal form. So yeah, Caulifla and Kale powered down to their normal form before performing the Potara earring fusion. In the manga, or the manga if you prefer, when Caulifla appears, Caulifla and Kale actually were still in their transformed states. So Caulifla was locked into the transformed state during the manga version of the Tournament of Power. Although the downside of having the lifespan be shortened, that side effect or negative consequence doesn't really have too much of an effect on Caulifla, considering the fact that Dragon Ball Super retconned how the Potara earring fusion works. That's right, Gowasu revealed in the Zamasu saga that the Potara earring fusion is only permanent, not counting loopholes, when at least one of the fusees is a Supreme Kai. Potara earring fusion between two non-Supreme Kai fusees only lasts for an hour, so that consequence of having a shortened lifespan by being locked into a transformed state doesn't really have much effect for Potara earring fusions where both fusees are non-Supreme Kai fusions. And I will admit, I'm still not a big fan of the retcon involving the Potara earring fusion. That's still one of the things I wasn't really a big fan of with Dragon Ball Super. One of the things I didn't like about Dragon Ball Super was retconning the Potara earring fusion. It just felt very unnecessary for me. But otherwise, I still think, I still was glad to see Vegito make his return even with that retcon, and I do think Caulifla's arrival is really cool too. So naturally, we're going to see Goku fight Caulifla in the next episode, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Goku versus Caulifla. So overall, I would say I enjoyed this episode. I did like how we got to see more of Caulifla and Kale. I liked seeing more of Caulifla and Kale, both working together as a team, and also the bond that they have as sworn sisters or sisters in arms. I did like how we got to see Kale unlock Super Saiyan 2. Kato Pesra offered us some insight on a character who's not from Universe 6, Universe 7, or Universe 11. And we did get to see a little bit more. Oh, and we also did get to see a little bit of humor with Kato Pesra and Frieza just not being interested in fighting Kato Pesra and just ignoring him in favor of watching Goku fight Caulifla and Kale. And like I said, the arrival of Caulifla, the Potara earring fusion of Caulifla and Kale, was a really cool surprise since I'm a big fan of fusion in the Dragon Ball franchise, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the fight between Goku and Caulifla in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. So there you go. I would say that's it for this episode. So as of this video, we've now discussed the Funimation dub of episode 114 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.